Welcome to begin.
Good evening. How's everyone? I want to
Good. Good
evening.
evening.
good evening. I want to greet you as their council chair
Good evening.
and
Good evening.
bring our meeting to order on this day, March 4th, 2024, regarding the PAC team. Uh, sorry, the PAC team meeting. Thank you.
Miss Ward, I don't hear you anymore.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I'm hooking up to my car. One second.
Okay. While Miss Ward is situating herself, if we could please, let's start with our introductions. We'll start with Miss Kennedy. And if everyone could please just share your name, your role as a PAC member, and for any of our parents, please share your student's name. Give a special shout out to your child. I'll start with Miss Kennedy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiffany Kennedy. I am eighth grade science teacher, um, and I am the vice chair of the PAC.
Thank you, Miss Kennedy. Miss Saxon?
Hello, good evening. I'm Miss Saxon, and I'm math teacher, sixth grade, and I am the secretary of the PAC.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Barnes, if you would, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm Janquela Barnes, and I am the mother of Truyance King in grade.
One of our legendary parents. She once is an eighth grader. Miss Varney.
Yes, this is Kimberly Varney, and I have a student at the middle school, Stone Mountain, and his name is Jaden Henderson.
Yes, all righty. Miss Varney is here representing the sensational 29ers. Her son is, we're so proud of having Jaden represented, and she wants represented. And next we have Miss Jackson Vega on the call.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Portia Jackson Vega, and I've been selected to be a part of this, so thank you very
Awesome.
much.
And Miss Jackson Vega is an awesome member of the legendary squad upstairs. She's an eighth grade social studies teacher.
Forgot to mention
Miss
that.
Berry.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Berry. I am the pirate liaison for community affairs.
Yes, so glad to have Miss Berry here. I'm so excited about the things that she's going to share with you this evening. And then we have Miss Glenn on the call.
Hello, everyone.
We
My
love
name is
Miss Glenn.
Karen Glenn. My name is Karen Glenn, and I am the mother of Christopher Brown, seventh grade.
Yes,
Yes.
another sensational 29er represented. We see Miss Glenn all the time. Thank you for being here, Miss Glenn. And Miss
You're
Ward,
gonna see me in a couple minutes too.
yes, and Miss Ward, we know you're driving, so if you need me to um, say anything that's on the agenda, please let me know. Everyone knows I'm Principal Warner. I'm so glad to be here and so grateful that you all have partnered with us as staff. Of course, I think I have the best staff in DeKalb County School District. And I'm so grateful to have as our parents, you as partners. So thank you so much for being on this call this evening. And I'm going to defer to our chairperson, Madam Chair, Miss Ward.
Hi there. Next, look, I'm driving, so I was going to read the quorum and just go over the agenda.
Okay.
Just go over.
Would you like for one of us to do that since you're driving?
Yes, can I
Of
have
course.
our vice chair read that? I'm sorry, I just drove from North Carolina now off to work. Just give me a second with me. If our Madam Vice Chair could please read the quorum.
Ms. Kennedy, are you in a position to read or are you driving as well?
I'm in a position, but I have a very rambunctious household, so I'm just trying to get.
Okay. Well, give me just one moment. I'm going to park and I'm going to read that for
Oh,
us.
okay, I got a spot. Okay, hello.
Yes, ma'am,
Yes.
we're with you.
Okay, I'm at a place where y'all won't hear much background noise. Hopefully, okay. Okay, so our quorum, I will read according to Article 5, page 7 of the PAC bylaws. Elected members of the Principals Advisory Council shall include the following two categories: at least four parents, guardians of students enrolled in the school, excluding parents who are also employees of the school,
Mhm.
elected by the parent guardian of the school. At least two teachers elected by the teachers at the school. Paraprofessional school counselors, instructional support staff are not included. As of January 8th, our quorum includes elected parents, Ms. Ward, Ms. Glenn, and I believe that's Ms. Varney, not Ms. Vogue,
That's correct.
right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then as of 1A, our quorum includes elected school teachers, Mrs. Kennedy and Mrs. Saxon.
Awesome. Thank you for
Thank you
that, Ms.
so
Kennedy.
much, Madam Vice President. So next, we just wanted to discuss a few topics. There are four present community partners that will be
Mhm.
conducted by Ms. Karen Berry, and then an opportunity for parent volunteers, and then go on to discuss school communication, as well as last but not least, opportunity for students to be involved in clubs to promote community service.
Mhm.
Ms. Berry, would you like to begin?
Yes. Again, hello everyone. I am happy to report some of our partners uh, who have, well, I should say, community businesses who have partnered with us. Um, I started just before the holiday break, and we were happy. I'm happy to report that we have several community partnership that really aided us to close out the year in such a big and fantastic way.
Yes.
Longhorn Steakhouse, they provided us with over 25 gift certificates for our students and 4 teacher gift certificates
Woo.
to share during our holiday celebrations. Also,
Mhm.
There's Ice Cream gave us over 50 student gift certificates. Jason Deli partnered with us and gave us over 50 student gift certificates. Chick-fil-A, we have an ongoing partnership with them. They were our main sponsorship for the DeKalb County dignitaries that graced our school when they made the
Yes.
announcement of the electric school bus.
Mhm.
They provided the refreshments for our dignitaries, and we were very grateful for that.
Mhm.
Also, they have sponsored our Readers of the Month. So they have been really a big um, contributor to our um, community affairs. And we also partner with Top Golf
Yes.
when we launched the Employee of the Month.
Mhm.
And we also partner with Magnolia House. They have given us gift certificates that we were able to gift our dedicated bus drivers.
Woo.
And also, I'm happy to report that we have launched our Pirate Clothes Closet, sizes 10 to 16, and that partnership came from North Lake Church of Christ. And we were able to get several, I will say about 15 or so pair of jeans and slacks. We got shirts, we have new underwear, sweaters and coats, and they are willing to continue to service us as the needs arise. So we were very fortunate to partner with them. Some of the partnerships um, that we're having talks with is Brewster's Ice Cream. They are want to launch something with us that's coming in the spring. We'll talk more about that soon. Panera Bread, Red Lobster, Zaxby's, and Chick-fil-A. So if you all know of any businesses that wish to partner with us, or you could give me that information, or you can, send me an email and I'll be happy to talk with them. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
much. And Miss Ward, if I could add that I got a chance to share this team with Ms. Ward, and good afternoon to our other parent that just joined, Ms. Stevens. Thank you for being here. I wanted to share that Miss Berry has been so gracious and relentless. She is relentless going out into the community and giving our story, sharing our story. And as she said, we were so grateful that partners started coming in right before the holidays. So we were able to do raffles with our staff during our holiday social. During our Title I meetings, parents shared with us that they wanted to see more incentive for students and more support for teachers. So through the efforts of Ms. Berry just going out and hitting the ground, and it really is that pavement work, that footwork, and then she tells me who I need to call, who I need to meet, who I need to email, and we're just so grateful because I hope you all see on our SMMS News on IG or SMMS STEM. As Ms. Berry said, every month we celebrate the homeroom with the highest book checkouts, as well as the 5 top student scholars. And they have had, as she said, Longhorn gift cards, which they love. They love Chick-fil-A. And each month we celebrate again a class, and it's just so exciting to see the students' faces. So we're glad through her work to be able to say that we have followed through on what you all, what parents said that they wanted to see for our scholars, and we're trying to stretch this out as far as we can go. And we want you to remember that our school is outside of the neighborhood, so it means a lot that these businesses right here on Lawrenceville Highway, and even she's extended as far as La Vista Road, are wanting to do something to celebrate and to support our kids. So job well done, Miss Berry. Keep up the good work. And thank you so much for that. Thank you, Miss Ward.
And if we can move to section B regarding the opportunity for parent volunteers and parents online, if you can please share your input in terms of volunteer opportunities that you would like to see in correlation with the student and staff at Stone Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be cool to have car washes and bake sales and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Love that.
Yeah, and also like more opportunities to have when you have field trips,
Mm-hmm.
to find out if there are any parents who'd be willing to volunteer to go um on the trips to help the teachers with the kids too.
Thank you so much for that, Miss Glenn and Miss Varney. Miss Saxon was just out of the building last week with her scholars last Friday. But we
Mm-hmm.
have several trips that have taken place here. And thank you for lifting that up, Miss Glenn, because that's one of the things that Miss Ward mentioned prior to our meeting, that she wanted to make sure that we are communicating better, because
Yeah.
sometimes our students, as they're bringing those permission slips home to sign, they kind of make sure y'all glance over the part where you can come too.
Yeah.
So we really want to make sure that we figure out a better way. If you all have some ideas for that, because oh my goodness, I think our 8th graders have been on 3 or 4 trips. They just They were out of the building last week again. Our sixth graders are out all the time. Our seventh graders, if your scholars are on team 7B, where the science teacher is Miss Meta, Miss Shumpert, Mr. Johnson, they are on a trip this week on Thursday, I believe. If your students are on 7B, I'm sorry, 7A, they have a trip coming up as well.
They're on the
Um,
15th.
say it again.
The on the 15th, there's a
Uh,
field trip because
Thank
I
you.
went.
On the 15th. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Miss Glenn. Miss Saxon or Miss Kennedy or Miss Jackson Vega, do you all have any dates for your scholars? Again, they are out of the building often, and
Well,
we
I
would
have a
love for parents to come.
Uh,
well, I have a
I
suggestion before Miss Kennedy and Miss Vaughn speak, if that's
Yes.
okay. In regards to that question, if you have a list, if you were able to provide like a list of all the upcoming field trips and events, and
Hmm.
you could create that and have a request sent out if there would be any parents who would want to volunteer on these trips, because a lot of the
Absolutely.
times they don't know about the trip until the form comes, and sometimes the form they don't see the form until like 2 days before.
Got it. That's an
Yeah,
excellent
so
idea.
so
Excellent idea,
That's a
Miss
thought.
Glenn. Okay, we will get that out to you.
Yeah, it would be good to email the parents
Yes,
that.
yeah.
ma'am. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And I hope I didn't surprise anybody, but like I said, those seventh graders will be out of the building this week and next week.
Oh,
Yeah,
I only
Jaden's
knew.
excited. He's
Yeah,
excited.
I
He's going to
only
the
I
aquarium.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, Christopher is going to, yes, the same trip.
Okay. Yes.
But
Um,
I'm gonna be going with him on that trip.
okay. Awesome. Thank you
Mm.
so much for that.
Yes.
Um, Miss Ward, if the floor could be open, the teachers that are on, they could share any upcoming dates if you would like.
For sixth grade, we are done. We went on our last trip. Well, actually, um, if you don't include the drones, and again, we had our sea perch competition, so that, if you consider that to be a field trip, but it's on a smaller scale. So, but officially as a class or as a team, we are coming to a close because we're getting ready for milestone testing.
Okay.
So we're kind of keeping it close to the hill right now.
Got you. To our
Hmm.
eighth grade staff, the legends, you all have some things on
Um,
deck for sure.
well, this is Mrs. Kennedy speaking. So as far as field trips, we don't have anything planned for Team 8C, but we do have the steam truck occurring this week,
Yes.
where it's in-house. It would be nice to have some parents involved. I can speak to the coordinators and get that information relayed to Ms. Warner
Okay.
tomorrow when I speak with them about maybe having some parents come see what we're doing with the steam truck. It's wonderful. We did
Awesome.
hip to hip today, but we also have
Mm-hmm.
eighth grade activities coming up as well. So
Yes,
eighth
ma'am.
grade week activities and the permission slips and details have been sent out. So if you're our student haven't relayed the information to you, we could get you the permission slip ourselves as well. So
Is
Thank
that
you
for
for
eighth
that.
grade? Sorry, I'm sorry. Is that for eighth grade or seventh grade?
eighth grade. These are
Okay.
eighth grade. Eighth grade week activities.
And
Okay.
and and just to interject, our CSOs are also trying to plan a STEM night. So it
Mm-hmm.
would be so nice that you might want to get with them
Mm-hmm.
to help plan something. They have the date slotted for the end of March, but wouldn't it be nice to get you and those students involved in trying to pull that off? So if I can, Miss Ward, perhaps give you the names of those students um, after this meeting, and somehow we can do a connection that way. Would you be interested in doing that? The parents in
Absolutely.
the
I think
group?
that would be great.
Yeah, the parents in the group, we were trying to, we're trying to pull that together, and that's part of their project for their CSO uh, project. So they're trying to do that. But that would be very, very good to blend those two together along with those partners that you have. Perhaps they would also like to be involved in seeing some of that be addressed and getting a lot of the kids involved in those STEM activities. It would
Thank
be
you
an
so
after
much, Miss
school event.
Saxon. Thank you
Yes.
so much for lifting that up, Miss Saxon.
Yes.
Yes, it was an awesome conversation. Thank you to Miss Saxon and Miss Autry. We have two STEM ambassadors. And
Yes.
this past Friday at our school, well, not just at our school, but everywhere in Georgia, it was STEM Day. So
Yeah.
we were looking to see how the thoughts, how the ideas kind of caught on fire, if you would,
Mhm.
throughout the school. And it's hot upstairs on that legendary hallway in the eighth grade,
Mhm.
and it was super hot. On the seventh grade, we had one entire team that had a STEM competition. We were so proud of that. Again, I hope everyone is looking at our IG pages to see those communications. But as Miss Saxon said, right now things are loading. It's kind of on the table for us to solidify our date because we want to have some data for how the school caught on. And then we'll be planning, as Ms. Saxon said, we will make sure we get information out to the PAC and to our partners to see what STEM night would look like. As the students graciously shared with me how it was done last year and some ideas that they had for reframing some of the ideas. So again, thank you so much, Ms. Saxon,
Yes.
for putting that in front of the PAC for consideration. And
Yes,
as soon
ma'am.
as we solidify a date, we will make sure. And our March calendar is filling up rapidly. So we want to make sure that we don't stretch the teachers too thin as well
Yes.
because we do have parent teacher conference night, which is our data talks coming up on the 21st after our progress report cards. So as soon as we get that date solidified and find out where our what our sea perch competitor. So shout out to again Miss Saxon and Miss Autry for having a group out at Chamblee High School this weekend. As soon as we get those results and find out what our next steps are, Ms. Saxon and her team also have the drone competition on tap as well. So um, our students stay busy, and a shout out to Miss Kennedy for her work and what's going on with our STEAM truck. And we have students from all grade levels that will be doing those STEM activities starting tomorrow. So as soon as Miss Kennedy gets an answer as to if we can invite you all in, I will push that information out to the parents. That's an excellent idea. Thank you so much
Okay.
for that. Miss
Okay.
I
Jackson
have some
Vega.
suggestions. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. And I think Miss Jackson Vega had come off of mute, so I couldn't tell if she was getting ready to say something as well. Go ahead, Miss
No.
Martin.
Oh,
Hmm.
I have two suggestions. I think that you
Okay.
know how they're doing this, giving away food at these schools.
Yes.
I think it would be a good suggestion for these children to learn to do this because this is important to these homeless people. You know, they need to learn these things for
Yes,
caring,
ma'am.
caring about others.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, Miss Varney. That is what Miss Ward had in mind in our fourth item with the opportunities for students to be involved with things that promote community service. So hold on to that thought because that is where she was going with that.
And another thing, I think it would see back home. I'm from Kentucky, and when we was in
Hmm.
grade school, like at the end of every year, like whatever kindergarten through eighth grade is what we had,
Hmm.
and they would have like a picnic at the end of every year
Okay.
for the kids to enjoy together, like the sixth grade one day, seventh grade another day, and then the eighth grade.
Okay.
So we had that when we was growing up.
Okay.
Picnic
All
days,
right.
what
So
they
you're
called it.
That's
thinking grade
nice.
level activities. Got you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is
All
a
right.
great idea. So I know you do everything. Everything is at the end of the year, like the program where all what is where every grade level comes together and at the end of the year. But that is nice to have um, each grade level because then the parents is on a smaller scale. But I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how the manpower will work with that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that is a great idea to do because then you have or if you have it on the same day, have it in different sections where parents can come and help and volunteer on that field day. Is it the field day?
Yes. You
Yes.
mentioned field day this morning. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And I know Miss, all of this is being recorded, so I promise you guys, Miss Saxon will have all of this in our notes for look at me putting you on the spot, Miss Saxon.
I'm so used to that. Okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
And then Miss Jackson Vega, I think came off.
Oh, I was now that we're talking about D a little bit ahead of time. I had an idea. Something that I've done in the past is
Okay.
the kids decorated shoe boxes with positive notes for the homeless, and they brought non-perishable items like, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste, like tissue and things. They just filled the shoe box with that, and we actually went out and because my school was near, an area that had a lot of homeless people, and I tell you
Oh, that's
what,
awesome.
you take the most troubled kid
Yeah.
and allow them to give to others,
Mm-hmm.
it melts the toughest heart.
Yeah.
It is very, very powerful, very, very powerful. And
I
that's just an
loved it.
idea that we can do
Yes.
on, the whole school can do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Oh, I do too. And that's a whole nother I think you, Miss Jackson Vega, and Miss Varney mentioned doing things for the homeless. We do, I think Miss Ward mentioned this morning, Miss Ward, correct me if I'm wrong, if you were mentioning assisted living.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think Miss Ward
Yes.
was mentioned. Mm-hmm. So let's Miss Ward, I know you're driving. Did you want us to move to um C with the school communications, or did you feel like we covered that
Yeah,
with
I had one more thing I'd like to add as you were speaking about the homeless and
okay.
talk about we've worked, my organization have worked with the Sandwich Project and where they make sandwiches for seniors and they had, but
Mhm.
their location has moved since then in the last 2 months. But they also wanted to start the brown paper bag, which would allow to make sandwiches and small food kits for kids. So
Mm,
that is something, even without that organization, that's something that you can do because I think about over the summertime, not everyone has access to food and
right.
things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
with getting out to the community, to the homeless, thinking about the some of the students that their only
Mm-hmm.
meal is when they come to school. And what do they do on the
Absolutely.
weekend? I
Absolutely.
just
That's an
wanted to add
excellent point. Yes. And then if I can
that.
ask a clarifying question to Ms. Varney, I think it was Ms. Varney who brought this to the forefront initially. Ms. Varney, were you considering um, how we could, was your thought on having like boxes of food for people to come up and pick up, or for students? What was your thought on that?
like
I'm
a
trying to,
like a food truck,
like a
and they
food
hand
truck.
out
Okay.
boxes. Yes, of food like they do at the high school.
I got you. Yes,
Yes,
I think
yes,
those go through like the Atlanta Food Bank and some
yeah.
other sponsors. All right. I just wanted to make sure I had the right image in mind. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hmm. And
Sometimes Gloria and I will pick pizza up and just give it to a homeless,
mhm,
just to feed them because I know they
understood.
need it more than I do. Or we
Absolutely.
make sandwiches, to give to them. So yeah.
Okay. Miss Ward, I know you were driving, so did you want us to move to C with communications, or were we
Yes,
okay.
yes, if we can move with communication. And I am a parent of Xavier, of a seventh grader on the STEM team. And we've worked with partnership with Scholastic Incorporated. But in terms of communication, I know there is the IG page and several platforms for communicating, but I thought it would be a great idea, and parent input would be definitely appreciated. With possibly if when parents are coming in, sometimes
Mhm.
people use those like the it's like an image sort of cut out Instagram. Hey, did you check us out on Instagram? Are you following us? Just for
Mhm.
communication. And just wanted to find out if there was any other ways that we can get communication because I know when Xavier comes, and he doesn't tell me what's going on. I have to go and search and find
Right.
out. They just come home. They I want something to eat, and I want to play the game. I want to do my work, and that's
Yeah.
it. So, what are some other ways we can get the communication across? So when there's events that parents can come out to and assist and volunteer, that is readily available. And does everyone know that the platform for Instagram is even accessible and available? That they need to certainly be um, across technology.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, at the beginning of every school year, when the parents come in with the kids, we're asked to write down our information, like our
Hmm.
phone number, our name, phone number, and who student we're associated with.
Hmm.
So just like how Stone Mountain Middle, when you guys send out the alerts regarding the buses,
Yes.
when there's a delay in the bus, can there be something similar created
Hmm.
for, and it will be done class by class, so the teachers, they know their kids, they have their numbers, so it's not like the whole school, but the teachers would have more control because it's in a smaller bracket.
Okay.
You have those numbers, so whenever you have information, you can send it like in a blast text
Okay.
kind of idea.
Yes. Okay. So the text messages that you all receive, I send those through school messenger. And what Miss Ward and I were discussing this morning is that I only have 160 characters that I can use. So I have to make them as brief as possible to capture the information. We do have a way, I'm learning that we do have a way to narrow that down and filter who receives what. So I'm making a note to self to learn those features. Some of the teachers, and it's not mandated, I haven't mandated this for our staff yet. Some teachers like remind. I know that
Mhm.
our band and our orchestra, um, our band especially, Mr. Marshall, our conductor, does an awesome job with remind for all of his scholars. But seeing that Ms. Ward mentioned that suggestion this morning, we're going to be setting up something right here in the front to start making sure that our pages are on the screen and that we are saying to everyone who comes in about following, as I think that's a great way to just, hey, are you following us? Like she said, we do have the information on the marquee, but that only works for parents who are coming by.
Yeah.
And everything is on our website as well. So we're going to first start with trying to filter through School Messenger, since, like you said, we already have that information, and then reaching more out to our staff to see how what platforms they are using, if they are using any. And like I said, I've seen Class Dojo and Remind being used by some staff members.
And I'm familiar
We
with
also
Remind too because I do classes and my teacher has us on Remind. So when
Hmm.
she sends out a message, you get it both on the app and the text message too.
Okay,
So that would be a good idea to utilize that platform.
got you. Yes,
we
ma'am.
also this is Miss Kennedy speaking. We also have talking points, and talking
Hmm.
is directly linked to our 365. So,
Hmm.
um, I was having a glitch, but Miss Mahone on my team is really good with it, so I can find out more about that. Again, I was having a problem, which is why I couldn't do it. But
Okay. Thank you
she
for
is.
saying that. That's another good platform. And I
Mhm.
believe our counselors use Naviance to contact you all. But I think if we could streamline it a little bit better, and every parent that I ask, they say, Principal Warner, we prefer your text messages because I don't read my email every day.
Yeah, some people
So,
don't check their emails. So,
yes.
but
And you
once that
guys
text
will,
is on your phone, you
that's
get it
right.
right there.
Right. And you guys will see that I lumped 5 different events in one email today. Thank you so much. Anybody else have anything else to add with communications? And Ms. Ward, I'm going to do my absolute best to have that screen rolling by the end of this week up at
Oh,
the front
great.
area. Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. So I have a smaller screen that I have right here in my office that we're going to take up front, and we're going to see if that helps. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
And then our D point was the opportunity for students to be involved in clubs to promote community service. And I know you guys have already touched on that already. Ms. Ward?
Yeah, sort of like a sister program, brother program for the ladies and young men to definitely promote. I'm sorry, you mentioned that they need to learn and understand the concept of helping others and what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely agree with that and give them something to do to be more well-rounded and have more empathy within themselves.
Mm-hmm. For
I agree.
sure.
And
Mm-hmm.
I have a personal personal request, Principal Warner, for a
Yes.
club. For you already know because I've been asking.
Yes.
But
And I
yes.
and I do want to
Mm.
share, parents, that we have a mentoring group that has started with one of our partners who came and spoke during Red Ribbon Week and the closing. Her name is Officer Love. It just so happens that that's her last name. So it's referenced as the Love Group. And the program is geared towards, this one is geared towards students who have had more behavioral challenges. So it's more about making good decisions and just reframing how they respond to conflict. Our students have responded awesome to it. Every week, they meet every Wednesday, and um, they bring in all sorts of different resources to help students to navigate through again, through how they process their emotions and their thoughts as they are making decisions. So we're seeing some good output from that. But as of yet, and again, I will be sharing this information with our counselors and with our sponsors about creating some particular clubs that are more exclusive to young men and young ladies. We have some partners who tried to do that, but thus far we haven't been as successful. The National Coalition of Black Women, they have a group that has met at our school at least 2 or 3 Saturdays, but they do venture out to different schools. We have 2 or 3 girls that are involved in that, and that's a leadership program as well. And then the 100 Black Men of DeKalb have a program as well. And those gentlemen meet at McNair High School. I know we had at least 2 of our young men who have stuck with that program, and they were here during our grand opening. But we do need to focus more on moving some things towards in-house, maybe through our counseling department for those things that you all um, are suggesting. And I love all of it. We definitely want our students, as Ms. Ward just said, to learn how to be more empathetic. And I think, as Ms. Varney was saying earlier, knowing how to care for one another. So we definitely will be getting on that. I'll be sharing these ideas with our counseling team tomorrow.
So are we doing
I have
like,
a question.
uh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I had a question. Is there a day like you have a career day, but
Yes.
take it a step further, like, yes, where you can beforehand show or do a workshop with the ladies and the men, because they need it too, how to show up, professionally, how to dress, certain etiquettes that both young ladies and young men should have.
Yes. Okay. So Career Day is March 22nd. I included that on the email to you all today. Um, but my frame of how I would like that to develop is not in place quite yet. But I think that's a great idea. We have had guests who have come in. We had the gentleman of Kappa. Help me. Was it Kappa Alpha Psi? Kappa Alpha Psi came in week before last, I believe, during Black History Month to have reading moments with the students. And that ventured a lot to them talking about life with our scholars. But we are definitely looking for more of those opportunities. So yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We would love for parents to come in and talk about those essentials. That's college and career readiness all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just wondering, you was talking about clothing. Do we donate clothing? Is that what you're talking about?
What Miss Berry was talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Berry. Miss Berry, did you want to respond to that?
Yes, the clothing are for our students who may be in need. Um, some of our students are coming from other countries, and they may come from countries where, they've not experienced the cold. The weather is totally different. So we'll be able to provide clothing for them. And for our young ladies, sometimes they may need to change clothes. So they're there for the needs of our students.
Okay, because my aunt, she used to be like a nurse at a school, and she would bring in clothing for children that were in need at the school that don't have nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, Miss Varney, that's exactly what Miss Berry is saying. So, what we did is started with what she called the pirate closet, and that started with a teacher and a couple of staff members saying, "Hey, the weather is changing. We want to make sure our children have coats." So, it started with that, and it's just continuing to grow. So, absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
New
Awesome.
new and gently used clothing are greatly appreciated. We've just determine what that area would be for the closet. And so Miss Berry and a couple of volunteers that she had that helped with that, they've already started building or creating that area so that it's nicely organized. And our counselors have traditionally had shirts. We've had several shirts for our scholars, but we have not had nearly enough pants for times that there are accidents that students might have, or if someone comes to school and they're not quite dressed appropriately. We try to have something that we offer before calling the parents to get off work and bring clothes. So yes,
Okay.
that would be
Okay. I have
greatly
tennis shoes
appreciated.
that Jaden doesn't wear, so I'm
Yes,
going to give him. He
thank
don't
you
want
so
them.
much.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
And I just thought of something else. I, sorry, I don't know if it's something that would be also something to consider, but like a culture day, a culture awareness day, you have a lot of diversity in the school, and it would be nice if on that day, the students come dressed in their traditional clothes and, kind of build awareness about different cultures
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
students come from or their families come from.
Yes.
Also, I have an idea about a school game night where the students make their games, and it's just a fun night for parents, teachers, and students. And it requires little planning,
Hmm.
and just, little trinkets for prizes and for refreshments for the parents. And it's
Hmm.
fun.
That's
Oh,
awesome. Would you consider that being a part of STEM night or something separate?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that is
Okay.
really what STEM night is about.
Yes.
It's like a fever of games that stimulate the brain. So they're more brain games.
Hmm.
Yeah, sounds wonderful to
I
me.
Hmm.
think it would be cool also, ladies, for like a lock-in. Is that the same thing she's talking about for these children?
No, not a lock-in. Oh, you mean me for STEM night or for for what
Well,
you're
either
talking
or,
about?
but I think a lock-in with these students, because these kids like to get out at night and get in trouble. So I think
Oh,
that
I
would be
see.
a good idea too.
Well, the
A
game
lot.
night is created by students, so it's geared more towards STEM.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, these are
And
great
believe me,
ideas.
they have fun. They really do.
Yeah, I love that. We're gonna get it on the calendar. I promise y'all. We are definitely going to get it on the calendar for all of that. Ms. Ward, did you have any other thoughts regarding item D with opportunity for students to be involved in clubs to promote community service?
Not at this time.
Okay.
This is Mrs. Kennedy. Before we move on, I did hear back from the STEAM truck representative, and
Oh,
she said no problem at all. Parents will be encouraged to attend in May for the Spark event.
in the May, you said at the May event?
Yes, for the Spark event.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Kennedy.
No problem.
So good. That's going to be great. The kids are going to have a blast with the steam truck. What the teachers have already, the teachers practice first. So it's going to be awesome. We will have plenty of video, and I don't know if we're doing live feed, but we'll have plenty of video to show you guys about this week. But all right, we will make sure we get that date out in May.
So what is a steam truck?
Miss Kennedy?
Sorry, I had to go to another area.
It's okay. We know you got your sons.
Okay. So the steam truck is it's all about hands-on learning and how we can incorporate everyday tools like a drill or a square. It's called a square. I'm learning them two new tools I haven't, but it's called a square angle where it's used in construction. Maybe you have different drills, different types of drills, and those sorts of tools that maybe it'll be in your garage, or if you have a garage, or maybe the male person in the household only uses, but depending on your household again. However, the students will be exposed to these types of tools and how they can be incorporated with our content as we are developing and planning lessons with the STEAM truck. And so we'll have our own cart housed in the school where teachers can check it out as we are building. But these 2 weeks, we are launching the program, and the students are engaging in sessions where they're learning about the STEAM Truck Initiative.
Mhm. So, Miss Kennedy, could you tell them what you all built today for practice? Did you hear me, Miss Kennedy?
I did, but
Oh,
I was
okay. No,
bombarded
it's okay.
by my children. Sorry.
No, it's
Um,
okay.
uh, so what we did, we built a dome, and so we used a combination of triangles. And one thing about a triangle is the different points in the vocabulary is compressions and tensions that we're going to also talk about with the students. But we built a geodesic dome where when we built it out of PVC pipes. And so another thing is that we're using everyday materials like cardboard, plastic, and PVC today. And so we built a dome. The 5 teachers who are groundbreaking this initiative, and so we're able to it's hip to hip where we are with the STEAM truck representative. We're learning it before the kids are experiencing it, so that we can facilitate and coach as the students are learning as well.
Mhm. Thank you for that question, Miss Varney.
You're welcome. That's pretty neat. I've seen
Yeah,
where
oh, it's
children
super
have
cool.
like done archery and they've made Indian huts and stuff like that. It was just different things, and I thought it was just amazing how they do
Hmm.
this.
Yeah. So
Yes, and the
there's,
students they were walking by, I'm sorry, as they were walking by, they said that looks so fun. So
hmm
they're already gearing up.
yes, yes. Thank you, Miss Kennedy, for. I know that was a real brief version of what's awesome job. Thank you. Ms. Ward, the next thing on our agenda was the open issues of the audit and our compliance. Would you like for me to share updates on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so with our audit that took place at the 1st of January, I am happy to report, and I sent an email to everyone on the council that we were at 100% with all of our compliance matters. Yay! Thank you so much, Ms. Saxon, for making sure we had all of our meeting minutes, our videos. My assistant, who started at the end of December, made sure we had additional things that were required that we had not had before, summaries of actions, and but everything that is required of Title One and required of the, excuse me, not Title One, of the PAC, we were in full compliance of. So as we're learning and growing together, we know exactly what is required on our website.
Yes.
So we are going to keep moving in the right direction, but job well done, team.
Yes.
We met our quorum for the first time January 8th. And then today we've exceeded our quorum. I'm so excited. We have
Yes.
more than 2 staff members. We have more than 4 parents. So we are on the move, ladies. We got to get some dads involved.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know, Miss
Yeah.
Stevens, Miss Amanda, which
Oh,
grade level were your students in? I don't know if Miss Amanda can hear me.
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you. My son actually just recently left Lithonia Middle School, so I
Okay.
have kids at Stone Mountain Middle. He's in the
You need
seventh
to back
grade.
up. What
Okay.
Then I have a child at Lithonia High School. She's in the ninth grade.
Okay.
Then I also have children where I work at Dresden Elementary in the fifth, first, and pre-K.
Well, thank you, love, for joining us. Welcome to the ship. So the
Yes, thank you for having
29ers,
me.
the 29ers
um,
took it as far as our parent participation. And let me share that every week we are very competitive here on the pirate ship. So every week we compete for attendance. We compete for discipline as well, but it's a banner that's out there for attendance. And parents, the
I
sensational
think it's
29ers have
rigged. I
had the
think it's
banner.
rigged. It's rigged. There's a glitch in the
When
system.
they lose,
There's a
they don't like
glitch.
it.
there is
Okay.
no glitch.
There's a glitch
Principal
in the
Warner.
The
system.
Um,
sensational The
sorry,
sensational
Principal
29ers
Warner.
have won and held. I'm coming, Miss Gwen. The sensational
Yes.
29ers have held on to the banner for 6 consecutive weeks
It's a glitch.
for having the highest attendance of the school every week for 6 weeks. So, like I said, it's extremely competitive, but we're fighting for it every day.
Well, congratulations. I've
Yeah.
just recently, been getting the emails. So watch out now.
Mhm.
Watch out now. Watch out now.
So I don't know if this is sorry, I don't know if this is something that is done here. I
Okay.
honestly don't know, but it just popped into my head as I don't know who it was, but somebody said something and it popped into my head. You said, oh, you had mentioned about fathers, getting fathers involved.
Yes.
Do you have you ever done or considered like a father daughter dance, mother son dance kind of event?
Okay.
Oh,
So,
Is that
what has been brought up? What has been brought up in my 11 months was Grandparents' Day was brought up.
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
We had an awesome turnout for our November luncheon. But
Mhm.
no one had mentioned it, but it doesn't mean that none of our sponsors are considering the dad daughter or the mom son. So that will
Yes.
definitely be in our meeting minutes, and I'll push it out during our faculty huddle. We have faculty huddles every month. I love those. I meet with the staff in a more intimate setting where I meet with each grade level instead of meeting with everybody at one time. So I'll make sure I push those ideas out and share everything else that has been shared this evening. But for
And
sure,
also,
I'm sorry, I heard, and also,
yes, so I was saying, and also for those that are in single family homes, you can have something for them too so they don't feel left out.
understood. Yes,
Mhm.
received. I would
Mhm.
like to share with you all one piece of data that every staff member knows about, has committed to their grade level data. And your students, every ELT class, so every homeroom got a chance to recommend a student ambassador for their homeroom. So I met with students and we called it the pirate chat. It was one of my favorite days of my time being a principal in these 11 months, where I met with the students and we had lunch together. They shared, hearing from children is the most insightful experience you will ever have in a school. They talked about the type of incentives they wanted, and we're doing our absolute best to meet them where they are. I want you to know that when it comes down to our attendance data, that has increased, and our discipline data each month has decreased from what it was a year ago, and we're really proud of our scholars for that. At the end of the semester, at the end of the first semester, we had more than 788 of our students who had never had any type of discipline referral. And that's well over 50%. At that time, we had about 1,000 students. So that's more than 70% of our students with no type of discipline infraction at all. We're so proud of them. We had an amazing honors day. If you were not a part of that, please, please, please encourage your child to do their work in every class. I had students who stopped me and said, Principal Warner, I didn't get an invitation. And as a principal, I advocate for them every day, all day. But I went to check those report cards and I said, wait a second, you had a score less than an 80 and in a connections class. So we had to remind the students again that every class counts. I want to shout out Miss Jackson Vega, who's on the call. She even did an attendance luncheon, breakfast with her team, because our legends talk about how sometimes our eighth graders become disengaged and they're not in school, and sometimes their parents don't know it. So she made a charge for her team to increase their attendance. So thank you, Miss Jackson Vega, for doing that with your students exclusively. But we are also going to have an awards day for second semester. And as the eighth grade teachers have mentioned, they have a series of events happening for our legends, because we want to ensure that our eighth graders understand that they are matriculating, they are moving out and up to the high school, and we want them to be prepared. So we have several things that are exclusive to them, but also many learning experiences and opportunities for our sixth and our seventh graders. So I wanted to share that data. We do have a 3% target for each grade level. And in our pirate chat, your students, your children, talk to me about the data. So that data I'll be pushing out to you all as families, and it's going to be published all over our building, because each grade level has a goal for their 3% target. Please ask your children tonight, what score is their target for Georgia Milestone? We have said it every day since August 7th. Every child that walks through these hallways should know that they should score. So I'm going to give you the answer so that you can tell them whether they were right or wrong. But they should have 525 and higher in every content. And they should be able to tell you what their score was last year, because their teachers had data talks with them. What their score was last year, what their present Lexile is. Their Lexile score is their reading score. All sixth graders should be above 950. 950 and above. All seventh graders should be at 1,000 and above, and our eighth graders should be at 1,100 and above. And guys, we have children in our building that are 1,300 and higher for their Lexile. Our children can do it, and they hear me say that every day. Thank you for that data moment, Ms. Ward. I forgot when we were talking this morning that we would need to put that on our agenda. But I always want you to be aware that at the end of everything that we're doing is student achievement. And our score of
Yes.
35.4, our CCRPI score went down by 0.1%. They cannot decrease under my watch. They will not decrease under my watch. Our goal is to increase academic achievement every day, all day. Yes, we want students to have fun. Yes, we want them to be actively engaged in their learning. But the outcome for every school leader is achievement. And nobody believes in your children more than I do. And the only person that can beat me in believing is you.
Amen.
Yes. And when I say I love these children, they know I love them. I do not play about them, and I don't play about this staff. These teachers are doing a phenomenal job of keeping our students actively engaged and teaching to the standard. And they are holding our scholars responsible for their numbers. So I want you all to help us, please. When we use the word partnership, we mean it from the bottom of our hearts. And I thank you for taking this time tonight. I thank you, Ms. Ward, for your leadership. And I thank you to our teachers who put in a day of work and still got on this call. I know all of you have had a long day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
And
you.
I was
Thank
just gonna let
you.
you guys know
Thank
I have a
you.
I have a disability to where I'm not allowed to drive.
It's okay.
So, like you all was saying, these students or these children doing things like at school. So I need
Mhm.
somebody to come and pick me up or something because I'm not allowed to drive doctor's orders.
Okay, thank you for saying that. We'll
Okay.
put that
All
in
right.
some of our
Thank you. All right.
proposals. Yes, about that. And then Ms. Ward, we would
Okay.
need our final motion to adjourn.
I just had a quick question. It's Miss Kennedy.
Yes, ma'am.
If there's something that we wanted to discuss at the PAC, like someone asked, like how early would they need to reach out to get on the agenda?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Miss Kennedy. If they just send me an email, because the PAC only meets, we've met every month because we were making sure that we met our quotas. I mean, our
Okay,
quorum. We had a hard time meeting our quorum. But
okay,
whoever that is, if you just let them know, share the information with you, and then you can
okay,
include it in our PAC channel. I'm sorry, in our
okay,
PAC email group, and we can add it to our agenda.
okay. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you for that.
and and also quick, just a suggestion again, Principal Warner, about the activity, about the after school, the chess club.
Chess
Yes,
club.
yes,
Yes,
please, yes, please.
got you.
Mm.
Thank you, Miss Glenn.
Yes.
Miss Ward, if you wanted to do a motion,
Okay, I'm sorry. What was the motion for?
I was asking if you wanted to do a motion to adjourn because we had done our data talk.
Oh yes, I'll move a motion for us to conclude the meeting. What?
I
So
second
you
that.
want
Third
a
that.
motion? Motion to move forward. Granted to end the meeting. Hearing none, seeing none. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Ward, and everybody that's driving. Please be safe.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
Have
Have
a
a
good
Yes.
blessed
This
night.
is
day.
Have a
thank
good
you, thank you.
evening.
This is a really good
Have a good
meeting.
evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All
Miss
right.
Ward, I'll follow up
Have a
with
good
you
evening, guys.
to get our
All
next
right. You
Okay,
too. God
meeting
absolutely.
date.
bless.
All right,
Okay,
be
thank
safe.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
All right, Principal Warner, as soon as I get that recording, I'll begin the transcribing, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'm stopping the recording right now. Thank you, love.
Okay. Good
Okay,
night.
bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.